all right. Hello, navigators, and happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. All right. All right. So, this Aries full moon, super moon is not here to play small. And if you know anybody that has Aries energy or you have Aries energy, you know Aries does not do anything small. Okay. And so it's this full moon is here to help you to reclaim your sovereignty, to step into your power and finally release what has been holding you back since your divorce. Okay. And so I'm super excited to get into this today. Now, this full moon is going to be happening on October 6th or 7th, depending upon where you live. So if you are in the Eastern time zone, this is going to be happening around, I think, 11:30 p.m. on October 6th. Okay. And so this super moon brings a fiery, powerful energy that can help you to take your healing to the next level. Okay. So if you have been wanting to really, get into, moving past the initial grief and pain and hurt and really, step into your full sovereignty. This is the full moon that is going to help you to do that. Okay. Now, full moons are typically a time of releasing old, outdated things, mindsets, people, or anything that no longer aligns with where you are in life or where you are trying to get to. Okay. And so by letting go of the old, you make space for the new. Okay. And so today in this live, I'm going to share some tips on how you can work with this full moon's energy to reclaim your sovereignty and align with your internal power. All right. So super excited to get into it. But real quick, if you are new to me or to the channel, my name is Katrice and I am the Natal Chart Navigator. Welcome. And I teach new divorced women how to use their natal charts to heal and to reclaim, to rebuild their lives after divorce. Okay. And so for all my navigators who are returning, welcome back. All right. Happy to have you. And so let's jump into it. Now, real quick, if you are watching live, comment live, hashtag live in the chat. And if you're watching this on the replay, comment replay. Okay. Now, don't forget to drop your questions in the chat if you have any questions, and also engage with the content. I don't like just talking. Like, I want you guys to talk back to me. Like, this is our community. This is our space. And so, engage with the content. Okay. I would so greatly appreciate it. All right. All right. So let's get into this. Okay. So first, before I get into how to work with the energy, I want to do a quick overview of the energy that you're going to be working with so you have a better understanding of it. Okay. So Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. Okay. And it is an energy of initiation, courage, independence, assertion of yourself, raw impulse, and fresh starts. Okay. It's ruled by Mars, which is the planet of action, courage, and drive. Okay. It's also, Mars also symbolizes our willpower. Okay. And so now full moons, they tend to bring culmination, illumination, and release. Things, uh, things that you've been holding under the surface, they tend to come out and come forward. Okay, so that you can recognize them and you can release them. Okay. Now, a super moon, which is what this full moon is, heightens that effect. So your emotions may feel stronger, your clarity may be more vivid, and letting go of things will become more intense. Okay. And so, because Aries is ruled by Mars, there is a strong um, push towards action, a confrontation of what's been suppressed, and a and reclaiming of your personal power. Okay. So if you have just been feeling like, everything and everybody has been controlling you, that you have had no control over your life, and that I'm trying to, okay, and that, you just don't know what direction you're wanting to go in, this full moon is going to really help you to release all of that, and so that you can really step into your power. Okay. Now, Mars, which is the planetary ruler of Aries, is currently in the sign of Scorpio, which is the other sign that it rules traditionally. Okay. And so, with Mars being in Scorpio, not only is the action that you're going to be taking under this full moon going to be highly action oriented, it will also be very strategic and intentional. Okay. Now, Aries energy can sometimes be a little uh, impulsive and not super strategic. But with Mars being in the sign of Scorpio, Scorpio is a very intentional energy. It's a type of energy that it kind of plots before it makes moves. So if you know anything about Scorpio energy, or if you know any Scorpio people, they don't just do anything haphazardly. They are very intentional in their moves. And if a Scorpio wants to get revenge on you, they're going to plot that revenge, and they're going to do it, and they're going to initiate that revenge at the perfect time so it really hits to where it wants to go. And not just with revenge, but that's with Scorpio energy. Anything that it does, it is very, very intentional. And so this full moon, with the ruler of the full moon being in Scorpio, a very intentional energy. This will be a very transformational full moon, not only for the house in your chart where Aries is, but also for the house where Scorpio is and your Mars placement. So, for example, if say you have Aries in the ninth house, Scorpio is in your fourth house, but then you have Mars in the sixth house, all three of those houses are going to have some type of a influence under this full moon. Okay. So that's really, really exciting. So if you don't know how to pull your chart, if you've never pulled your chart, you can go to astro.com. It's absolutely free. I do have a tutorial here on the page. If you go on the Astrology Basics playlist, there's a tutorial to pull. And then on the home page, under the first set of videos, I forgot what I named that section, but the campus tour. Under the campus tour, there's the video of how to pull your chart on astro.com, and it's absolutely free. Okay. Now you will need your time of birth. If you don't know your time of birth, but a roundabout time, you just put that in there and pull your chart. Okay. All right. So now this energy says it's time for you to stop performing for others' approval. It's time to stop shrinking to fit an old version of yourself. And so you may feel a push to speak up, to assert yourself, or to finally take that first step towards something new, even if it feels scary. Okay. Now, this is not about you being impulsive and just making moves just to make moves. It's about you reclaiming your sovereignty, okay? Because you are no longer defined by what broke you. You are being invited to lead yourself forward, okay? You are the author, you are the pioneer, you are the one that is leading your life. And so it's time for you to step into your full sovereignty. Okay. All right. So after divorce, there's a phase where you feel like you're rebuilding from the ashes, and you're unsure who you are without the we. Okay. And so this Aries full moon gives you the courage to say, I am still me, and I am rediscovering what that means. Okay. Now, this is really good. I just want to interject right here because this The opposite energy of Libra, of Aries, is Libra. Okay. And so Libra is that we energy, that partnership energy. Okay. And so this, for this Aries Libra axis is going to be activated. Okay. Now, last year, well, earlier this year in March, the new moon that we had in Aries, it was an eclipse, and it was the last eclipse in the Libra axis, in the Aries Libra axis set of eclipse that we had, which was about the sovereignty between the self, Aries, and the we partnership. Okay. And so, with this full moon, you're being invited to balance your independence, which is the Aries energy, with the relating, which is the Libra energy. So, this means that you will be redefining how you relate to others while never losing yourself, which is really, really key because in marriage, a lot of times that we as women, we lose ourselves in the marriage. We forget who we are because we are too busy being the wife and the mom and the therapist and the nurse and the taxi driver and all of these different things and roles that we take on, and we forget who the hell we are. Okay. And so this full moon is inviting you to remember who you are. Okay. Now, in the context of your divorce recovery, this is an opportunity for you to release old emotional contracts. Okay. The unspoken promises, guilts, or the should haves, the could haves, the, what you should have, would have, could have did. Okay. That you are still carrying around. Okay. It's also giving you the opportunity to hold your anger, but not to dwell in it, okay? And to recognize it as sacred fuel for transformation. It's okay to be angry, but don't dwell in the anger, okay? Because when you start dwelling in it, that's when you start causing physical harm to yourself, okay? It's also giving you an opportunity to reclaim your voice. Aries energy reminds you that your truth deserves to be heard. Okay. It's also a time for you to take bold action. Okay. So that bold action could be that you are setting a boundary that you needed to set a long time ago. And now you're just like, I'm setting this damn boundary. It could be that you're signing up for something new, or simply just saying no where you once always said yes. Okay. Now, Libra energy can be a very people pleasing energy. I did a video where I talked about, people pleasing and how, Libra is one of the energies that is prone to people pleasing because it is that relationship, that relating energy. It's an energy of balance, right? And there's nothing wrong with doing for people and being there for people. But when you start to lose yourself in the doing for others, that's where it becomes a problem. Okay. Now, another thing that you're going to have the opportunity to do with this full moon is to reclaim your sense of self outside of the us as a couple. Okay. And to plant the seeds for your next chapter from a place of sovereignty. Okay. It's time for you to start doing things for yourself that you want to do, from taking sovereign action and not always having to ask somebody their opinion. Okay. If you want to do something, then do it. You don't need 59 million people to validate your choice for doing something. Just go and do it. If it fails, it fails. It is what it is, but you'll never know if you don't take the step without being afraid or needing validation from the outside. Okay. Now, if you are finding value in this content, please do give it a like and share it out with another divorcee who could use this content. um, who can find value in this content. And also subscribe and click the bell so that you get notified whenever I upload new content or go live on the channel. Okay. All right. So now this moon is asking you to choose yourself unapologetically. Now, for the last 2 weeks, and this has actually been it was it actually worked out really well, because for the last 2 weeks I've been diving into the first house, which is the house of self. Now, if you've been on the channel for quite a while, or if you're new, um, the first house is one of the houses in the natal astrology healing method. Okay, the first house is the house of self. Okay, it represents the physical body, and so you can't heal without, you are, the chart is basically you. So the first house is you, and then all the other 11 houses are different areas of your life. Okay. And so we've been diving into the first house. We've been talking about the planets in the first house. We've also been talking about the signs on the first house. Yesterday I did signs on the first house, because the I am, okay, that is the first house, okay? And so the first house and Aries energy both represent sovereignty, okay? And so if you haven't watched any of those lives that I did on the first house, go back and check them out, because they're definitely going to help you to really understand the first house and the importance of the first house, because the entire chart is built around the first house, okay, which is why it's so important that you have your birth time, because the birth time is dictates the rising sign, okay. So it's very important that you know that. Not saying, I mean, you can do a roundabout time, because the rising signs, they change around every 1.5 hours to 2 hours. So you can have a roundabout time, but you definitely want to go check those out, because they will really give you more insight into the first house. Okay, which is very, very important. Okay. All right. So let's get into some practical ways for you to work with this full moon. Okay. So we've gone through what this energy is, and how to use it, within the context of your divorce recovery. So now I really want to jump into now how some practical ways on how you can use this full moon's energy. Okay. Now, you don't need complicated spells. Simplicity plus intention is the most powerful. Okay. So here's a few suggestions, a few things. There's many more. If you have your own um, rituals and things that you normally do under the full moon and those work for you, you continue to use yours. These are just some suggestions for those of you who you may be new to, working with the moon's energy, or just want to try something new. Okay. So this is in Aries, so it is fire energy. So you can do a fire release ritual. Okay. And so with this ritual, you write down the things that you're ready to release. Okay. So fear, guilt, resentment, old attachments. You write it down, and then you read it out loud under the moonlight. Okay. And then you can safely burn it, or if you don't want to burn it, you can tear it while saying, I release what no longer serves my peace. I release what no longer serves my peace. I release what no longer serves my highest and best good. Okay. And so you can let the flame be symbolic of you letting go, releasing it, and your rebirth. Okay. Because Scorpio energy Mars is in Scorpio energy, which is the ruler of, the planetary ruler of this full moon. And Scorpio energy is the energy of death, transformation, and rebirth as well. Okay. All right. The next thing, you're going to want to cleanse and clear your space. Okay. Your living space. Okay. So this will be particularly helpful if you are still residing in the marital home. Okay. So if, after the divorce, you stayed in the marital home, this is really gonna, be really good for you to do. Okay. But you want to smudge your space, your living space with sage or Palo Santo. Ring, you can use bells, the sound bells. You can use the sound bowls. Or chimes, and you want to, or shift the energy with salt or water. Okay. If you do like a water cleanse, this clears residual energetic baggage from the past and opens up your space for newness. Okay. You want to get rid of any old stagnant stuck energy. Okay. And even if you don't reside in the marital home, um, and you've moved, you got your own space, you still want to, do this to get rid of any stuck or stagnant energy. Okay. Um, the next thing you can use is affirmations or decrees. So phrases like I reclaim my power, I am free to choose my own path, my worth is not defined by another, um, or any affirmations that you have, I am sovereign in myself. Anything that you want to use to help you um, to really shift from victim to empowered co-creator, because you are co-creating with the universe, with the energetic field. And so saying these things really helps you to internalize the shift. Okay. You can also, if you're into crystals, you can use grounding or protecting stones like smoky quartz or black tourmaline, or energizing crystals like carnelian to cleanse under this moon. Okay. And so these can support you in it energetically in conjunction with the inner work that you're going to be doing. Okay. And that's very key. And then you can also visualize yourself stepping into your new self, walking out of your old skin, walking out of your old life, owning your sovereignty. Okay. And so you can use the full moon light as a guide and just say, what parts of me am I ready to reclaim? Okay. And then you can close out any of the rituals that you do. Close it out with gratitude and just, thanking, um, you know, the ancestors, thanking your inner self, thanking whomever, whatever you believe in, thanking God for revealing to you what needs healing. Okay. And so you can close out the ritual with reverence, and this helps to anchor you back into, the now. Okay. And just be grateful for the now, for everything that you have, for everything that you're releasing, for all of the new that's going to be coming into your life. Okay. All right. And so now I want to get into some mindset shifts and inner work to help you expand under this moon's energy. Okay. Because doing the rituals and everything is one thing, but it's an internal process, and your mind state, your perspective has a big role in how you the direction that you move in going forward. Okay. So the first thing is that you want to witness your emotions without judgment. Okay. So when old emotions like anger, grief, and fear um, come up to the surface, allow them to be seen without shaming yourself. Okay. This full moon will crank up the intensity. Okay. But nothing is too much under this lunation. Aries energy wants that raw, unfiltered truth, not sanitized versions of your pain. And so let these emotions be a messenger for you and not the enemy. Let them speak, don't suppress them. Okay, let all of them come out, because remember, when you keep emotions suppressed, they start to cause physical ailments. Okay, and so you don't want to do that. Okay. um the next thing is to reclaim your identity beyond relationship. And so ask yourself, who am I apart from being, wife or partner or mom, right? Who am I apart from the labels that I have identified with? Because this energy wants you to root into your core being. And so use the moon's clarity to redraw boundaries around selfhood, and use this lunar light to define what you will and will not allow in your life going forward. Okay. Um, Next, you want to set micro actions of empowerment. Okay. So even little small steps, things like creating a new routine, writing a new resume, taking a walk, okay? Calling a friend, that somebody you trust and may, want to vent to, um, can align you with the moon's initiatory energy, okay? Because this is Aries energy, it's fire energy, it's very initiatory, okay? So take imperfect action. You don't have to have everything figured out, because this energy is inviting you to leap before you see the whole path. Take the first step. If you are into tarot, if you know anything about tarot, this energy is also the Fool energy, or where the Fool just has, if you see on the Rider Waite Smith card, the Fool has his little knapsack and his little dog, and he's just about to take the leap of faith off the cliff, just knowing that it's all going to work out. It's the zero card in the tarot deck. And so it's new beginnings. And that's what this full moon is signifying. It is new beginnings. And so you just want to trust that it's all going to work out, even if you can't see, the whole path going forward. Okay. Um, Also, with this energy, you want to forgive to free yourself. Okay. Because forgiveness is not about condoning what happened to you. Okay. It's about releasing yourself from the ongoing emotional bondage. Use any triggers that come up um, around this full moon as portals, okay? When someone or something triggers you, pause and ask what internal wound is being touched, what needs to be healed and seen, and use this moonlight to free yourself from resentment. Oh, excuse me. Okay, and then last, you want to honor pacing and self compassion. So, Aries energy pushes forward, but in healing, you want to be gentle with yourself, okay? So, some days you may require rest, and let this moon energy fuel you, but not burn you out, okay? Be patient with your integration, because this moon asks you to reveal and release. But the maturation of what you discover, it may take time. So from now all the way until the new moon in Aries in March of next year, okay? You're going to be seeing all kind of things coming up, okay? Just because we're having the full moon tomorrow, it does not mean that everything's going to come up tomorrow. No. It just means that the starting point is now, and you're going to be seeing things all the way up until next year, okay? Be patient with yourself and know that everything is working as it should, okay? And so now on the community tab, I'm going to post some great journal prompts that you can use to help you to anchor in deeper with this full moon's energy if you are into journal prompts. Now, I'll give you one here, but I'll post the rest on the tab because I don't want us to be on here for forever. Um, but one that you can I'll give you now is, what am I holding on to that's keeping me tied to the past? Okay. And this is a really good one. Okay. This is a really good one. I'll actually put it here in the chat here. um, so that you can see that. What am I holding on to that's keeping me stuck in the past? Because you're never going to be able to move forward from your divorce if you're still holding on to what he did or what I didn't do, or all of that. You have to release that type of stuff, especially if you are wanting to step into your full sovereignty. You got to let that go because it's over. You can't change what happened, and so let it go. Just move on. Okay. All right, so this Aries full moon, supermoon is your reminder that endings aren't punishments, they're invitations. And you are being called to rise, to trust your fire again, and to rebuild from truth and not fear. And it is asking you to stop waiting for permission and start to write the next chapter on your own terms now. Okay. You do not have to have it figured all out. In fact, you won't have it all figured out, and that is okay. You're not supposed to. You just have to take the next aligned step. And so let this full moon be the mirror that shows you your strength and not your scars. Okay. And so that's what I have for you with this video. If you enjoyed the content in this live, please do share it out with another divorcee that could use some guidance and community while navigating her divorce recovery. And if you want to continue to learn how to use the natal astrology healing method for your divorce recovery and to be a part of the Understanding You University's Navigators community, then make sure you subscribe and click the bell so that you get notified when I go live, when I upload new content to the channel. I have so much coming up for the community that I'm really excited about. So if you like what you're seeing, make sure you subscribe, okay? Now, if you are ready to dive deeper into your personal natal chart, then I invite you to check out the description for additional tools and resources, such as a free ebook, From Breakup to Brilliance, the Natal Astrology Healing Method, which teaches the first three practical steps of the method. Or if you want to book an energetic calibration reading, you can definitely do so, okay? And so until next time, remember that divorce is not your ending. It is your initiation into the most powerful version of you. Okay? I will see you on the next one, navigators. Have a good one.